Howdy, I'm Karen with Karen Dawn Designs, and today I'm going to talk to you about how to create a one-row buttonhole, which is what I used to create the buttonholes for my pattern for the Wife of Bath's cowl. The first step is to work up to the point where you're going to do the buttonhole. You're going to take the yarn, bring it around to the front, and then you're going to slip the stitch from your left needle to the right needle. Don't work it. And then bring the yarn around to the back. The next step is to bind off some stitches. I'm going to use the numbers from the Wife of Bath's cowl, but make sure to refer to your pattern to get the correct numbers for you. So we've got this stitch that we just slipped and wrapped. So what we're going to do is slip the next stitch purlwise and then pass that previously slipped stitch over that stitch, which in effect binds off a stitch. We've bound off one. We want to do 5 total. So slip this stitch purlwise, pass the previously slipped stitch over, bind off 2. Same thing. Slip, pass slip stitch over, that's 3. Slip, pass slip stitch over, that's 4. We need one more. Slip, pass slip stitch over, that's 5. So now you've bound off 5 stitches and you can see how that has created what's going to be part of your buttonhole. Now you're going to take that last stitch, which is still over here on your right hand needle, and pass it back to your left hand needle. So just do that without twisting the stitch. At this point you need to turn your work around. Flip it over and make sure your yarn is in the back. And now what we're going to do is use the cable cast on to cast on 6 stitches on this needle. So to do that, you take your right hand needle and you pass it underneath the left hand needle between the 2 stitches that are on there. So if you can see, I've got my needle coming through so that it is underneath the needle between those 2 stitches. You knit a stitch, and then you want to take that stitch and place it up here on your left hand needle. So you've cast on 1 stitch. Again, you go through between those 2 stitches, knit a stitch, pull it up, and put it on that needle. That's 2. There's 3, between the 2 stitches, knit, pull up, there's 4, between the 2 stitches, knit, pull up, there's 5, between the 2 stitches, knit, pull up, and that's 6. So you now have 6 stitches that you've cast on. So here we are with the 6 stitches that you've cast on. At this point you need to turn your work and then make sure your yarn is in the back. Then you want to take the stitch that's on your left needle and pass it or slip it purlwise over to the right needle, and then with that cable cast on, grab that last stitch that you cast on and pass it over the stitch that you just slipped. Then you can just work the rest of the row as instructed. I've worked a few more rows so you can see the full effect of the buttonhole. There it is. The cable cast on gives it a lot of stability, so that way it should hold your button into place. I hope you found this video helpful, and thank you for watching.